Did you know that over 200 years ago in the 19th century, the joggers pant originated in England, United Kingdom, which was specifically created for athletics such as jogging and running. However, in the 20th century, it was later popularized as the American sportswear in America. After so many years of resolutions of creativity, it was now later discovered that the joggers pants is not just something you could wear for athletics. So many fashion designers have come up with different ideas of rebranding the joggers pants with countless styles, fabrics and designs, which has now made the joggers pants a fashion staple. Hi everyone, my name is Blessing and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now that we've taken a journey through the history of joggers pants, it is time to create our own. In this tutorial, I'll guide you through the process of sewing your own joggers pants like a pro. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. Bye! So guys, these are the materials we will be needing to sew a joggers pants. So here I have my fabric, I have my elastic. This elastic is about 2 inches width. I have my tape, my scissors, I have this rope here, it's a shoelace rope, and I have my chalk and also my ruler. Now, to determine how you are going to fold your fabric, you use your round lap measurement to fold your fabric. So my round lap measurement is 26 inches divided by 2, that is 13 inches. So I'll be adding extra 1 inch to it for sewing allowance. So guys, I want you guys to pay close attention to any fabric you are using to sew. Make sure that the letters are facing up. So this particular fabric, I make sure that the letters are facing up. That's why some edges are facing down and some edges are facing up. So that's what you're going to look at first before folding your fabrics and before cutting. So after so many adjustments on the fabric, I make sure everything is aligned properly, and the first thing I'll be doing is to mark out the length of the trouser. So the trouser length is 40 inches. So I'll be taking away 2 inches for the band and I'll be adding extra 2 inches for the length of the trouser. I guess you can understand. So I'm taking away 2 inches for the waistband and I'll be marking out 40 inches. Then I'll now go ahead and add another 2 inches to the down part. I guess you can understand. So I'll just be marking it out and I'll be using my ruler and my chalk to make an horizontal straight line right there, just like the way you see me doing in the video. So after marking the length of the joggers and the allowance also, the next thing I'll go ahead to do is to cut it out before applying the other measurement on it. So guys, this is what I have here after cutting it out, and the very first thing I'll be doing on this part is to take away 2 inches from the upper part and mark the flap measurement. So the length of the flap is 12 inches and I'll be adding extra 1 inches to it, making it 13 inches. So I'll be marking 13 inches right there, just like the way you see me doing. So I just used the beginning of my tape to measure up to that 13 inches, so it's going to be easy for me to mark. I guess you can understand. And I'm using the point to make an horizontal straight line and I'm marking it with my ruler, just like the way you see me doing. Then the next thing I'll go ahead to do is to remove 2 inches from the upper part and mark out 21 inches for the knee length. So for any adults, from the waist to the knee is usually 20 to 22 inches. So I'm just marking 21 inches right there and I'm using it to make an horizontal straight line, just like the way you see me doing. Then the next thing I'll now go ahead to do is to mark out my round hip measurement divided by 4 on the waistline and on the flap line, which I marked earlier. Basically, my hip measurement is 40 inches, so I divided it by 4 and I added extra 0.5 inches to it for the sewing allowance. So after marking the hip measurement on the waistline and on the flap line, the next thing I'll go ahead to do is to extend the crotch measurement by 2.5 inches. So from that point, I extended the line by 2.5 inches. I'm just making a sort of curved line into the hip line that I marked earlier. If you watch the video, you will understand what I'm trying to explain. And that is that for the crotch curve. So for the knee measurement, I'm adding extra 2 inches to the actual round knee measurement, and I'm also adding 2 inches to the actual round leg measurement because it is a joggers pants and it's not supposed to be tight on the body. So after marking the round knee and the round leg on the length of the trouser, I'm just using my free hand to connect the round knee to the flap point that I marked earlier, and from the leg I'm connecting it to the knee, just like the way you see me doing in the video. You can actually use a curved ruler to mark this if you can't use your free hand, but I just decided to use my free hand because I'm used to doing this very well. So after marking it, the next thing I will now go ahead to do is to cut out everything with my scissors before proceeding to cut out the back. you can see, guys, I've gone ahead to fold out another fresh fabric to cut out the back. So this is the front piece right here, and I'm just placing it on it to cut out the back, just like the way you see me doing. So the next thing I'll be doing right now is to add extra 2 inches to the measurement of the front to cut out the back. So I realized that the fabric is excess and I decided to reduce it. That was after I took the 2 inches extra for the back part. So I'm just aligning everything properly, and I'm doing the right adjustment I need to do on the fabric before I will now be placing the front piece on it, just like the way you see me doing. So this is just the way I'll be doing it. I'll be marking 2 inches with my chalk and my tape from the top to the bottom. Then I'll be placing the front piece on that line of the 2 inches that I finished marking, just like the way you see me doing. If you watch the video, you will understand what I'm trying to explain. So I want you guys to pay close attention to the upper part of the trousers, because I left some space right there, and the space I left there is 1.5 inches. And the reason I left that space is because I want it to be able to cover the buttocks very well, and the back is not supposed to be the same as the front. That is why I left it right there. So I'll be cutting it in a slanted manner, just like the way you see me doing in the video. Having done that, the next thing I'll go ahead to do is to cut out from the crotch part to the leg part of this side that I'm cutting. I guess you can understand, because I don't even know how else I'm going to explain it, but I feel like the video is self-explanatory. So I'll just go ahead to cut it equally, just like the way you see me doing. After that, I'll just go ahead to cut out the side part of the back, just like the way you see me doing in the video as well. So I'm just dividing it open like this, and that is how you should do yours as well if you want to get the same result. So guys, we are done cutting the back piece and the front piece as well. So I'll be taking the front piece of the trouser and I'll be placing it on the table, just like the way you see me doing, and I'll be marking out the pocket. So for the width of the pocket on the upper part, I marked out 2.5 inches and I'm coming down by 7 inches. So I'll be connecting the 2 points that I just finished marking with a curved line, just like the way you see me doing. You can use your free hand. If you have a French curve, you can also use your French curve to mark it. So that is just the way I'll be marking it. Then after marking it, I'll be using my scissors to notch the 2.5 inches area and the 7 inches area as well. Then I'm going to keep it aside to cut out the pocket. So guys, I'll be folding my fabric like this to cut out my pocket. You can decide to cut yours one after the other, but I'll be cutting mine together. That is why I'm folding. So the length of this fabric is 12.5 inches, which is very okay. So I wanted to make use of 12 inches, but the extra 0.5 inches will also serve as sewing allowance. So the next thing I will now go ahead to do is to fold it again like this by 7 inches. So basically the length of the pocket is 12.5 and the width is going to be 7 inches on fold. Remember, on fold, that means when I open it, I'll be having 14 inches. So after making sure that everything is aligned properly, I'm just going ahead to cut it out, just like the way you see me doing in the video. So after cutting it out, the next thing I'll now go ahead to do is to bring it out and give it a curved cut at one end of the pocket, starting from the closed area of the folded part. I guess you can understand. Don't make the mistake of starting from the open area, because it's just going to make the pocket weird. So guys, don't forget that you're supposed to iron your pocket when you finish cutting it. So after I finish ironing mine, the next thing I'll go ahead to do is to fold the front piece equally like this. I'm folding it equally on the leg part, so it doesn't necessarily have to be equal on the upper part as well. As long as it is equal on the leg part, you are good to go. And just make sure it is straight when you finish aligning it. So I'll just be taking my iron to iron it. Then after using my iron to iron it, I'll be notching the leg part and the upper part as well before taking it to my sewing machine to sew the gator that I made with my iron. I guess you can understand. If you watch what I'm doing, you understand what I'm trying to explain. So to be on a safer side, I'm just taking each of the front piece and I'll be using my iron to iron it on that gator part, just like the way I explained earlier, just to be on a safer side, you get. So I'll just be taking it to my sewing machine like this, and I'll be stitching the points where it is folded. I guess you can understand. So I'll be sewing about 0.2 inches, very tiny stitch. Just make sure it is as tiny as possible. So I'll be starting from the down part to the upper part of this piece, and I'll also repeat the same process for the other piece of the front. this is what I have here after going to my sewing machine to stitch it down. So you can see the gator effect at the front. So the next thing I will be doing right now is to fix the pocket on the front part. So this is my pocket here, and I'm picking one of the pockets and I'll be placing it on one of the trousers, just like the way you see me doing. So I just opened it right here, and I'll be using the 2.5 inches notch to notch the pocket. I guess you can understand. So I folded it and I used it to notch it, like where I notched earlier when I was cutting it. So the next thing I will now go ahead to do is to use my chalk to mark from that 7 inches to the 2.5 inches. So guys, I want you to pay close attention to what I'm doing. You can see that the left side of the pocket is facing the left side of the fabric. Yes, that is how it's supposed to be after sewing it, but when you want to take it to your sewing machine to attach the pocket to the trouser, you are not going to place it this way. If you want to sew it, you make sure the right side is facing right side of the trouser, like both pocket and trouser. So I'll take it to the sewing machine right now. You will see what I'm trying to explain. So I'm just repeating the same process for these other parts, and we'll take it to the sewing machine to sew it right now. So guys, this is what I'm talking about. You make sure you place the right side of the pocket on the right side of the trouser before stitching the pocket and the trouser together, just like the way you see me doing. And I'll also be making sure that the 2.5 inches on the pocket is aligning with the 2.5 inches on the trouser, just like the way you see me doing. So from the 7 inches on the pocket, I'll just be using it to mark a sort of curved line, just like the way you see me doing in the video. You can use your free hand, it's nothing serious, or if you want to use a French curve, you can use it. So I'll just be sewing it through like this from the up to the down part, and I'll be trimming out the excess before turning it over to top stitch it. I guess you can understand what I'm trying to explain. So guys, this is it here. I'm done sewing it and I'm just trimming out the excess, and I'm turning it over like this, and I'll be top stitching it at the front of the trouser. There are actually different ways of attaching your pocket to your trouser, but this is just the simple joggers way. After I was done top stitching it, the next thing I will now go ahead to do is to close the pocket like this from the back. I guess you can see what I'm doing. Then after closing it like this, I'll make sure everything is equal and aligned properly. Then I'm just going to turn it over and make sure there is 2.5 inches between where I top stitch and the side of the pocket. I guess you can see what I'm trying to explain. And I'm just going to stitch the pocket and the trouser together at the upper part, and I'll also move to the 7 inches at the down part and top stitch that part together as well, just like the way you see me doing in the video. Having done that, the next thing I will now go ahead to do is to raise up the trouser like this, and I'll be notching a little bit below the 7 inches that I top stitch at the pocket area, just like the way you see me doing. And I'm just going to be putting my hand into the pocket, and I will bring out the pocket from the inside, and I will be top stitching it from that part that I notched. So that's actually the reason I notched the pocket in the first place, so I'll be able to turn it over and stitch it at the inside. So guys, I'll just be trimming out the excess part at this part to enable it to relax well. I'm done fixing this pocket on this part of the front, and I will also repeat the same process for the other side as well. So guys, you can see how neat it is looking at the inside. That is why I will advise you to always sew the down part of the pocket at the inside. So this one now is for the back piece. This is the back piece of the trouser. So I'll be taking one of the back piece and I'll be joining it together with this front piece on the machine, making sure that the right side of the front is facing the right side of the back. So I'll just be starting the stitch from the down part to the upper part, and I'll also repeat the same process for this other side as well. Don't worry, just watch what I'm doing. You'll understand what I'm trying to explain. So guys, after joining this part, I'll be closing it like this, and I'll also be joining this part as well. So you can see this is the other side of the trouser. So I'm just joining it like this from the down part to the crouch area. So that's just the way I'll be doing it, and I'll also repeat the same process for the other part as well. So guys, if you've watched up to this moment, please, this is a reminder for you guys that have not subscribed to my YouTube channel. Please do well to hit on the subscribe button and also turn on your post notification so you get notified whenever I post interesting videos like this. So guys, I've already repeated the same process for the other part as well, and you can see the two pieces looking so beautiful. So I'll just be joining it at the crouch area. So you can decide to start from the center if you are not sure of the center align when you start from the top. So because I'm very sure of what I'm doing, that's why I'm starting from the top part of this crouch area. So I'll just be stitching it from the front to the back, making sure that the center is aligning. That part is very important. That's why I'm making emphasis on the center part. And this is how you're just going to be joining it, just like the way you see me doing in the video. So guys, our joggers is almost getting ready. So this is it on the table. I've gone ahead to iron it, and you can see how it is looking so beautiful already. It's looking so wide, but don't worry, when we put our elastic band, it's not going to be wide again. Not going to be wide anymore. So I'll just be taking the measurement I have on the waist. So whatever measurement I have there, that is what is going to determine what I will use to cut out the band. Do you get? So after I took the measurement right there, it was 21 inches. So I'll be adding extra 4 inches to cut out the band. So that will be 25 inches. Unfold, which means that when I open it up, it's going to be 50 inches. So guys, I've gone ahead to cut out these pieces because my fabric is not going to be enough. I just had to cut out small pieces like this to make it long. So at the end of the day, I'll be having my 50 inches. So I'll just be taking it to my sewing machine. But before that, I want to measure what I have here. So I have 5 inches right here. That means when I fold it into two, it will be 2.5 inches. That means 0.5 inches will be for the sewing allowance to join it together with the trouser, and the 2 inches is going to be for the band, just like I've explained earlier. So this is my trouser, and I'm placing it on the band just like this to just make sure the band is long enough, and I realized that it is even too much. So the next thing I will now go ahead to do is to measure what I have on the trouser, which is 21 inches for the waist part. So I'll be marking 21 inches right here on the band, and I'll be adding extra 4 inches to it. You remember I said we are going to be cutting out 25 inches on fold for the band. So this is just what I'm doing right here. So I marked 21 inches first, and I'm marking 4 inches. Then I'll be cutting the excess out, just like the way you see me doing in the video. So this is the band I need, and I'll just be trimming out the excess part of this remaining band that I added to it, because some parts are actually longer than the other. So the next thing I'll now go ahead to do is just to open it up like this, and I'll be using my pressing iron to iron it to the end. So this is the band after ironing, and it is on fold actually. So I'll be taking my elastic, and I'll measure the wideness of the elastic, and I saw that it was almost 2 inches. So I'll be placing the elastic on the band like this, just like the way the band is on fold. I'll be placing the elastic on it like this. Please make sure you are not dragging the elastic. So after placing the elastic on the band, I'll be adding extra 3.5 inches to the length of the band from where the band stop. I'll be adding 3 inches to the elastic. I guess you can understand what I'm trying to explain. So that is how you're just going to determine the length of your elastic. So I'm just folding my elastic like this, and I'm dragging it to the beginning of the band so as to make sure it's going to contain it when I finish sewing it. So I'll be taking the elastic, and I'll be joining it together like this. I'll be stitching on it like this, just like the way I explained. So this is my rope, my band, and my elastic, and I'll then take it to my sewing machine to explain what we're going to do next. Just like I explained earlier, I'm placing the two ends of the band like this, and I'm just stitching on it like this. Make sure you stitch on it very well, so it's going to stay very well. So for the band, I'll be joining the two ends of the band together, but before that, I'll be doing some measurements on it, because we'll have to create a channel for the drawstring, that's the shoelace rope. So from the center of the band, I'll be measuring 0.5 inches upwards. Then from that 0.5 inches, I'll measure another 0.4 inches. The 2 points I'm making is for the passage of the rope that I will be putting inside the band. I guess you can understand. So I'm just marking the 0.4 inches, and I'll be stitching on it. Then when I get to that 0.4 inches, I will jump over to the 0.5 inches, and I will continue sewing downwards. So guys, after sewing it, the next thing I will now go ahead to do is to measure 2 inches from the line that I just finished sewing. So I'll be measuring 2 inches right there, and I'll be folding that 2 inches just like this. The reason I'm folding it like this is for me to create the second channel where the rope is going to pass through, just like I did for the first part. So I'll be stitching on this folded part with 0.5 inches. So guys, I want you guys to pay close attention to what I'm doing. I just extended the 0.4 and 0.5 inches passage I made for the other parts. So I'll be repeating the same process for this part as well, and I'll be stitching it just like the way you see me doing. Then after stitching it, the next thing I'll now go ahead to do is to open up this folded part of the 2 inches I folded. I guess you can understand, because if I don't even know how else I can explain this part, but if you watch the video you understand what I'm trying to explain. So I've just done that to the second folded part, and the next thing I'll now go ahead to do is to open it up. I'll be opening the seam allowance just like this, and I'll be top stitching it on both sides. So that's just the way you're going to create your channel for the rope you are going to insert into the band, and I'm just going to repeat the same process for the other parts as well. So guys, I'm done top stitching the 2 passage where the rope is going to pass, and the next thing I'll go ahead to do is to take my elastic and I'll be placing it in between the band. I'm placing it in the center of the band just like the way you see me doing, and I'll be starting my stitch from the center of the passage. You can start from anywhere, it doesn't matter, but I'm just starting from the front part. So I'll be dragging the elastic. Please make sure you're not dragging the fabric. This part can be challenging, like it can be difficult, but you just need to try, because you'll be controlling the elastic and you'll be controlling the machine, you'll be controlling everything, like you're just all over the place. But you just need to try and focus on dragging the elastic instead of the fabric. So make sure everything is aligned properly and just stitch it around to the end, and that is how you're going to do the first stitch for the fixing of the elastic. So guys, after I was done doing the first stitch on the elastic, then the next thing I'll go ahead to do is to take my shoelace rope and I'll be inserting it into the 2 holes that I created while I was joining the band. So I'll be inserting it into the 2 holes and I'll be dragging it out like this, but I won't be dragging everything out because I will need to stitch the rope in between the band and the elastic just like the way you see me doing. So I'll be coming down after the shoelace rope that I inserted, and I'll be making another line right there, making sure that I'm dragging the band, and I'm making sure that I would not be stitching on the shoelace rope. Sewing this part can be kind of tricky and challenging, but you just need to focus and pay attention to what you're doing so you won't make mistake. So I'll just be coming down after the shoelace rope and I'll be stitching it all around till I get to the other end. Then after stitching it, I'll be making another line, which is going to be the 3rd line of the elastic band. As you can see guys, I've gone ahead to do the 3rd stitch on the band, and you can see how beautiful it is looking already. So the next thing I'll now go ahead to do is to trim out the excess, but I'll be leaving 0.5 inches for the stitching allowance. So before trimming, I decided to use my pressing iron to iron it. Please make sure you iron yours as well, so that the band is just going to relax perfectly and it can give more elasticity to the band. So the next thing I'll now go ahead to do is to trim out the excess of the band and leave 0.5 inches to join it to the trouser. And please please, if you have any question you want to ask concerning the band of this trouser, please do well to state it in the comment section below. And so I'm just trimming out the excess and leaving 0.5 inches to attach it to the trouser, and that is just the way you should do yours as well. So guys, this is the trouser here, and I'm just putting the band on it and I'm dragging it to see if it's going to be equal by the time I finish joining, and it was actually perfect. So this is the band here. I'll be doing some markings on the band from the center of the drawstring, and I'm just taking a mark to locate the center, and the two sides I'm holding here, I'll be making a mark with my chalk right there, and I'll also make the mark at the back of the center, just like the way you see me doing in the video. Now the reason I'm making this mark is for me to locate where I'll be putting it on the trouser. So I'll be putting the one in between the two drawstring at the middle of the front of the trouser, and I'm just going to be using my pin to pin it down, and the one at the two sides I'll be putting it where the joining of the two sides of the trouser started. If you watch the video, you will understand what I'm trying to explain. Now the reason for this is because I want every part of the trouser on the waist to have the same drawing effect, this to have the same elasticity. That is why I'm doing that. And if you feel like you don't like, it's not compulsory, you can just go ahead and join your band to your trouser just like the way you feel like joining it, but this one is just going to give it a perfect band. Don't worry guys, we'll take it to the sewing machine and stitch it together, and you will see what I was trying to explain. Just like I said earlier, this is it on my sewing machine, and I've already pinned the 4 points of the band on the 4 joining of the trouser. I guess you can understand what I said right there, and I'll just be placing it on my machine like this. I'm starting from the middle part of the front, and I'll be sewing it all around. So just make sure you drag the part that needs to be dragged so that it's going to have the same elasticity. So that is just how I'm going to be doing it, and there we have our band and our trouser joined together. Look what we have here guys. I've successfully joined the band together with the trouser, and you can see how beautiful it is looking already. Now the next thing we'll now go ahead to do is to attach the elastic to the leg part of the trouser, just like the way you see me doing. So I just took the measurement of the width of the elastic, and it is about 1.2 inches right there, and which is perfect for the leg part because it's not supposed to be too wide. So to determine the length of the elastic, I'm just going to be folding it just like the way you see me doing, and I'll be adding some inches, like 1 inch to it, to the just like the way you see me doing like this. So I'm adding about 2 inches to it to be on the safer side, and I'll simply be cutting 2 pieces of this elastic for the other leg as well. So after cutting it, the next thing I'll now go ahead to do is to take one of the elastic and join it just like the way you see me doing on the machine, and I'll also repeat the same process for the other part as well. So guys, I've gone ahead to join my elastic, and the next thing I will now go ahead to do is to give the elastic 4 points. I'll be marking 4 points with my chalk on the elastic. You remember what the method I used for the waistband when I was marking 4 points to attach to the trouser? So that is the same method I'll be applying on this leg part as well. The reason for this is to give every part equal elasticity. So I'll just be wearing the elastic band into the trouser after giving the trouser mark as well. I'll be wearing it just like the way you see me doing, and I will be stitching it. Just watch the way I'm stitching it, you will understand, and that is the way you should do yours as well. So guys, after stitching that part, the next thing I wanna go ahead to do is to fold it over to the wrong side like this. So I'll be turning my trouser inside out so that it's going to be easy for me to bend it and stitch it. So just watch what I'm doing, you will understand what I'm trying to explain. So I'll be folding it like this and I'll be stitching it all around to the end, and that is just how you are going to join yours as well. And our joggers pant is ready. So guys, if you've watched up to this moment and you've not subscribed, please, what are you waiting for? Please help your girl, subscribe to the channel, and also do well to give this video a thumbs up. If you have any question you want to ask concerning this tutorial, please do well to state it down in the comment section below. I will reply every question. And please also don't forget to turn on your post notifications so you get notified whenever I post new videos like this. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in my next video, but before that I'll be putting a video of myself putting on the joggers so you guys can see it again and admire it as the video ends. Bye.